Welcome to this week's tarot tutorial where I break down the hidden messages and meaning of the tarot one card at a time in a simple bite-sized way. These videos are designed for you to participate and actively learn tarot, creating your own keepsake reference book by the end of the series. I'm Heather, and whether this is your first time visiting my channel or you are a longtime subscriber, thank you so much for joining the pack. In today's video, we are going to be exploring the symbolism and interpretation of the Four of Pentacles. If you find value in today's video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and tells me what kind of content you want to see more of. Now let's jump right into our learning all about the Four of Pentacles. Welcome. We are going to, or I am now going to glue down my card. So this is the Four of Pentacles. So just take a moment to glue it down, your card down, if you are following along with me and making your own keepsake book. If you are making a keepsake book, comment below. I'd love to hear, or just, put a thumbs up or something. I'd like to see how many people are actually out there creating a keepsake book for themselves. I'm just going to turn it a bit slightly here so it's easier for me to write. And now we're going to get into our card. So to start off, Pentacles energy, as I've been mentioning every card, and I will go over it again. We don't have to write this down, but the suit of Pentacles represents the material world, the physical world. It corresponds to the element of earth, so that is rules over things like finances, prosperity, work, practicality, responsibility, and groundedness. It's also the physical body, your health, and physical well-being, and also nature, cycles, seasons, and the slow growth toward long-term goals. So it teaches us that material reality is a sacred field for spiritual development, and that they represent, or Pentacles represents the manifestation of ideas into form, or practical things in this physical world, things that we can touch, feel, tangible things, our tangible assets. It also emphasizes patience, steadiness, practicality, hardworking, and the wisdom of building something that's solid, lasting, and enduring. So with that, we will now dive into our Four of Pentacles card. And let's see. So the theme of the Four of Pentacles card is really about control, security, and rigidity. When we look at the card itself and the symbolism within the card, we see that there's this guy here, and he's like hunkered down here. He's like sitting on this like bench here. Okay, and that we can think of that bench as possibly being this trunk filled with his treasures, right? We could think of it that way. But he's sitting here and he's like clutching this pentacles in his hand. There's one on his head that he's balancing, and he's got his feet on top of two others, like he's weighing them down so people can't take them from him. And that's what we see here. And in the background, there's the city behind him. So he's out here and he's like isolated himself away from people. So those are the big themes and elements that we see in the card, and we are just going to start up here at the top again. I'm just making sure that we can see everything. So we're going to start with the clutching of the pentacles, this guarding of the pentacles. So when I say clutching, it's the clutching, it's the standing on the pentacles, it's this whole like guarding them, okay? So clutching pentacles. So why is this person clutching these pentacles? This is a fear of loss, attachment as well. So fear of loss, attachment to resources, hoarding, Yeah, I like hoarding. Okay. And then we also have the city in the background. So city in background. And this represents isolation from community. And then we have this closed posture. And this represents this resistance to change. Okay. Again, this is the element is earth. And this is about earth at rest, security becoming, or security becoming stagnation. So earth at rest, and it happens when security, it becomes stagnation. Okay, and then our numerology. This is the number 4, and this is foundation, stability, and boundaries. Okay, sure we can still see that. Just going to push this up a little bit. Okay. Now, the Four of, when we get into the interpretation of the Four of Pentacles, so the Four of Pentacles, it represents stability, control, the desire to hold tightly to the things that you've built around you. And it often appears when you're focused on maintaining security, whether or not that is financial security, emotional, or personal security. And you may be guarding your resources very carefully. And resources can be anything from money to things that are around the house, even your food resources, right? Your personal resources, as in your relationships and people, and like trying to guard that and protect that. This card highlights the need for boundaries and practicality, but it also reminds you not to let fear or rigidity limit your growth. So while you are on stable ground, you are clinging too tightly, and that can create stagnation in your life. So overall, this card signals a time of preservation and caution, encouraging you to find a healthy balance between protecting what you have and allowing life to flow. So this is stability, control, rigidity, desire to hold on to what you've built, resources, and maintaining security. Okay. And reminder to not let fear limit growth. Time of preservation, um, and finding balance between protecting what you have and allowing life to flow. Okay. And then when we get into career and money, then or financial readings, then the Four of Pentacles indicates a desire for stability and control over your work and money specifically. You may be saving diligently, being extremely careful with your spending, or holding tightly to a secure job, even if it no longer inspires you and you are no longer feeling fulfilled by it. This card also suggests financial steadiness, but also warns against a scarcity mindset that prevents you from risk-taking or growth. So professionally, you may be keeping your guard up, resisting changes, or sticking to familiar methods. While caution is wise, the card encourages you to really stay open to opportunities that expand your long-term security rather than just maintain it. So, um, so desire for stability in career and finances, um, saving diligently, um, mindful spending, or to be careful with spending. Um, Beware of scarcity mindset that prevents growth and by prevents growth by resisting change. Um, Remain open to opportunity or opportunities that allow for long-term security. Okay. And then we have relationships. And in a relationship reading, this can speak to you being guarded, trying to protect yourself or holding your emotions really close. Again, that hoarding kind of mentality. You and your partner, or you or your partner, may be hesitant to open up or share vulnerabilities, or let go of control. While this card can indicate loyalty and a desire to persevere through the relationship, it can also point to possessiveness, fear of loss, or emotional walls that can make a connection difficult. So if you're single, then it suggests that past hurts or caution may be keeping you from fully opening up to potential new possibilities. And so this card really encourages you to soften your grip a little bit and create space for trust and intimacy and mutual openness. So you can be open to those possibilities when they come in. So guardedness, self-protection, holding emotions close, possessiveness, fear of opening up, um, and sharing vulnerabilities. Okay. And I'm going to put single, past hurts equal fear fear, fear of being open, um, putting up walls, okay, need to hmm, need to soften to create space for trust, intimacy, and openness. Okay. And then health. And in when we have a health reading, then the Four of Pentacles can suggest some tension, like you could be holding some stress in the body, right? Resisting needed changes. You may be clinging to old habits, routines, or coping mechanisms that are just outdated or just not working for you anymore, but that's your comfort zone, right? They can also point to tightness within the body, so whether or not that's physical, but also emotional tightness resulting from long-term stress or fear of losing control. It can encourage a release from that tension for you to seek balance and to make gradual adjustments that support your well-being. So letting go of any rigidity and adopting a healthier, more flexible practice, and that can bring noticeable improvements. So for health, this can be rigidity, actual or mental, clinging to old health habits that um, that limit wellness. And let's see, a need to let go of rigidity and adopt healthier, flexible practices that will bring improvement. Okay. And then we have the reversed. So when we're looking at the Four of Pentacles reversed, then this can signals actual release and letting go and loosening your grip or on something that you've been holding on tightly. So whether or not that's money, that's control, that's fear, or emotional barriers, you might actually be ready now to open up, to take a risk, to take a chance, and to adopt a more generous mindset. In some cases, it can also indicate overspending. Maybe those purse strings are a little too loose, right? And or a lack of boundaries or carelessness with resources and this is prompting you to kind of regain that sense of balance. So overall, this reverse card marks a shift away from restriction and more towards this openness and flexibility. And healthier flow in your life, but again, sometimes it's too much flow. So just be mindful of that too. You can really look to the other cards that are around it for clarification on that. So reversed is signals, release, letting go, loosening grip on money, control, fear, emotions, Can be overspending, lack of boundaries, carelessness with resources, shift away from restriction toward openness and flow. There we go. And that is our Four of Pentacles. Thank you so much for joining me today on your path of learning. Join me next week when we dive into the Five of Pentacles. If you found today's video fun, informative, or both, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and check out my free monthly and weekly tarot readings.